All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chachwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect. This is the brother lawyer from Great Millstone, Miami. And this article is going to be, I'm sorry, this lesson, I got ahead of myself. This lesson is going to be based off of this article that you see on the screen from zerohedge.com. It's posing a question. Okay, it says, if the streets of America are this chaotic now, what will they be like when things really start hitting the fan? This was published by zerohedge.com, Saturday, June 18th, 2022. Okay. All right, and it's a good question. It's a good question. All right. I read through the whole article. Uh, the guy does a great job. Pointing out different things that are already going on. Okay. And of course, he has the wherewithal to understand that things are not gonna get better; they're going to get worse. Okay. And so, if things are already violent now, if things are already chaotic now, okay, and American cities are descending into more and more um, evil, okay, degrading, all right, more violence, then how much worse is it going to get? All right. And of course, we have the answers via prophecy, via Holy Scripture. And so that's what I'm going to do in this lesson is try to paint the picture. Okay. All right. Which, hey, what the scriptures tell us is perfect, but, it's pretty much abridged and summed up and summarized via prophecy. All right. The way things are now compared to what things are going to be like is a walk in a park versus an erupting volcano or a forest fire. Okay. And that right there is an understatement, what I just said. Okay. So, anyway, I'm going to read through the first paragraph of this article. And I'm gonna go into the lesson. I might jump around in this article because he did make some good points. If the spirit, calls for it, and Lord willing, this video is edifying. So the article reads: It says, if you are not alarmed by what is happening to our largest cities, you should check to see if you still have a pulse. Okay, and that's some. Hey, that's a cold punchline because he's saying, if you're not aware of what's going on, maybe you're dead. Okay, all right. It says, once upon a time, the beautiful new cities that our forefathers constructed were the envy of the entire planet, but now many of them have degenerated into crime-infested hellholes that are absolutely teeming with violent predators. Shoplifting has essentially become a national pastime. Open air drug markets operate freely right under the noses of indifferent authorities, and addicts pull down their pants and take a dump whenever and wherever they feel like doing so. Thanks to record levels of illegal immigration, gang membership is absolutely booming, exploding, and human trafficking has reached truly frightening levels. Of course, our steadily thinning police forces are overwhelmed at this point. Okay, it says, in fact, the police in Seattle are stretched so thin that they often are not able to take reports from rape victims. And if you are a victim of a non-violent crime in Seattle, good luck ever getting a police officer to pay any attention to your case. From coast to coast, communities are descending into a state of utter lawlessness. So if things are this bad already, what will conditions be like when things really start hitting the fan? Okay. So that is beautifully said. Okay. Things are already getting bad. Why are people shoplifting? Because prices are going up, but the rate of pay is remaining the same. Okay, all right. You got rapes happening, violence towards women increasing, violence in general is increasing. Okay, you have more gang violence. All right, human trafficking is going up. Okay, drug usage. People are depressed, so they're resorting to drugs and wine and alcohol. Okay, the police force is thinning. All right, and the list goes on, and this is happening countrywide, nationwide. Okay, so what will things look like when things really start hitting the fan? So Let's go into the scriptures and see if we can, build the narrative. Okay. All right. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "Remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." Okay. So this is an admonition to the Israelite man. Okay, and woman, okay, to seek the Lord, okay, while you have the time, while you're in your youth, and even if you're in your older age, okay, seek the Lord before the evil days come. So the days that are coming to the streets of America and worldwide are evil days, okay? The good times are not rolling in, things are not getting better. No, okay, and they're going to get so bad that you're going to end up saying that the time that the old times we're not pleasurable. Okay, you're gonna forget about the good times. All right. It says, "While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain," which this represents the sun, the light, the moon, and the stars, and the clouds represent knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay, because the days that are coming, people won't know what to do. They won't have any answers. They won't have the wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, okay, to understand and navigate these times. All right, which is why the scriptures tell us in the book of Isaiah, "Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." Okay, you have people like this who write these articles, who watch the news, okay, who do their research. Okay, so they may have an idea on a carnal, worldly level of what's going on, but do they really understand why, on in the big scheme of things, why this is happening? And the answer to that is no. Okay, you can only get the answers from the scriptures, the word of the Creator, why these things are happening, and these things are happening for the judgment of the earth. Okay, the Lord's bringing judgment upon the world. Okay, for its evils. All right, "I will punish the world for their evils and the wicked for their iniquity." All right, the Lord is bringing pride low. Okay, all right, before He brings the final judgment by fire. Okay, verse 3, it says, "In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble." What does that mean? Okay, the keepers of the house represent the economist. Okay, the people who watch over this economy. Okay, the investors, the bankers, these types of people, Wall Street type of people, they shall tremble. All right, the word economy, when you actually go into the etymology of it, it means household management. Okay, so the people who manage this society, they are afraid, and you can Google it, you can look it up. Many investors, top economists are like, "Yo, pull out, okay, pull out of your investments." Okay, CEOs are quitting. Okay, they're predicting a economic collapse, economic hurricanes. Okay, I believe that was Jamie Dimon from I want to say, was it Chase J.P. Morgan who said that recently? Okay, so yeah, man. All right, yeah, it's getting bad. Okay, all right, and so if the economists are feeling this way, what are they predicting? They're predicting economic collapse and chaos. Okay, it says, "And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few." So the job market is going to slow to a screeching halt. Okay, there's not going to be any work out there, and those that look out the windows shall be darkened. Okay, so people who look towards the future to see what's going to happen in 5, 10 years, they're not going to have any hopefulness, any good news to give. Okay, it's just going to be all dark and bleak. "And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low." So people are going to be trapped in their houses. Okay, why? Because the sound of the grinding is low. People don't got no money. Okay, the economy has slowed down, so violence is increasing. People gonna be shut in their houses, scared to go outside, scared to leave their houses, scared to go to market, scared to go into the city to look for work or to operate in the society. Okay, "And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low." All right, so all of this party and mirth and music, you know, festivities, that's gonna go right out the window. Okay, all right, the scriptures tell you in Isaiah chapter 19, okay, verse 2, it says, "And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." Okay, So it's going to get so bad, okay, which America is spiritually Egypt, according to Revelation, the 11th chapter. Okay, the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, the great city is Babylon the Great, which is America, the chief over all the kingdoms of this earth right now. Okay, all right, and she is spiritual Egypt. Okay, so it's going to be a civil conflicts here in America. Americans versus Americans. Okay, they're going to be fighting each other, man. Okay, fighting against their own neighbors. These neighborhoods, suburban areas, inner city areas, okay, all right, the suburbs, wherever have you. It's gonna be violence. People gonna be fighting each other, man. Okay, the left versus the right, Democrats versus Republicans, whatever divisive issue they might have, they're gonna go to bats about it. Okay, and they're gonna get really violent over the lack of food too. Okay, over the lack of food. All right, that's coming. Okay, all right. Let's go down to verse 15. It says, "Neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. And in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it." Okay? So, again, mass unemployment. Okay? All right, people not making no money. All right? People's aspirations and dreams shattered. Okay? All right, people gonna be scared like women out here, man. And they're gonna be afraid. Okay, panic, mass panic, you know, and just craziness, man. All right, the scriptures tell you. Want to say, is that First Timothy. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up. It says, "Perilous times shall come." Okay, all right, things are gonna get savage. Second Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. Okay, it says, "This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come." Okay, what does the word perilous mean? Okay, let's go into the Greek.
Strong's G 5467. Chalepas. Chalepas.
Chalepas. Okay, it says hard to do, to take, to approach, hard to bear, troublesome, dangerous, harsh, fierce, savage. Okay, savage, harsh, fierce times are coming to America and to the world. Okay, but since this article focuses on America, let's focus on America. Okay, hard to approach, hard to bear. Okay, it's gonna be hard to live in these times, man. It's gonna be savagery, man. People gonna be fierce. You're gonna have people killing each other, fighting each other in the streets, robbing each other. Okay, this article talked about how women, there ain't gonna be no police officers to respond to rape victims and nonviolent crimes. That's gonna increase, man. A lot of people, a lot of these police officers are quitting the force, man. Okay, and people don't want to be police anymore, man, because the violence is increasing so much. All right, and people just generally, the attitude towards police officers is down. Okay, nobody likes them. All right, so with that in mind, okay, the violence increasing, and no police, people just gonna do whatever it is that they want. Complete lawlessness. Okay, women are gonna be raped. Okay, people gonna be killed and just bodies laid out there. All right, looting. Okay, looting. That's gonna become a new, more of a thing too. Looting and riots. Okay, let's go to Second Esdras. Okay, chapter 9. All right, excuse me. Second Esdras chapter 9 and verse 1. Okay, it says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself." Okay, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time, or in the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So we look at the times that we're living in, okay, and we measure, or what another word for measure is to judge, okay. When you measure something, you're measuring its length, you're measuring the temperature, Okay, you're measuring when you measure something, but basically what you're trying to do is get a judgment on the quality of that thing. Okay, so when we measure the times that we're living in, we're trying to get a judgment, a gauge of the quality of the times that we're living in. Okay, and how do we do that? We do that with the Holy Bible. That's why our Messiah, Yahushai, the Messiah of the Israelites, okay, because Yahushai is coming back to save the Israelites, his people. All right, he told us, when you shall see signs of this, earthquakes, famines, wars, rumors of wars, right? Then you shall know that, he's on his way. Okay? Right? It says, so now that we see the times that we live in, and we measure it based off the Holy Scriptures, we know that the Most High is visiting the world, man. He's judging this earth, and that Yahweh is getting ready to make his return, the second coming of the Messiah. Okay? Verse 3, it says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, uproars, riots, man. Okay? Civil unrest, man. All right? The police versus the citizens, the National Guard versus the citizens. They even gonna bring the military in, man. Okay? To help quell the violence. Okay? To quell the sedition. And that's not gonna work. Okay? All right? It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Okay? So, yes, uproars, violence, okay? Chaos is coming to the streets of America. All right? One thing that this man talked about in this article, I believe it was food shortages, okay? How farmers were being affected. All right? The food crisis, there you go. Here in this article at this point here, he says in some parts of the world, the food crisis has already reached critical levels. And guess what? It's going to get worse. Okay? It's going to get worse. All right? He talks about Sri Lanka, okay, and Africa. All right? Then he goes down to say about how the United States food production has been affected by a bizarre series of disasters, and we are being warned that much less will be produced this year than originally anticipated. I think that one expert summed up the situation very well when he warned that we are teetering on the edge right now. So yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. All right, then he goes into how farmers are being crushed by the cost of diesel. They can't afford it, therefore they can't run their machines to help fertilize and plant their crops. Okay, which is gonna it says if we eventually get to a point where food prices spiral completely out of control, there are there are widespread spread shortages. Do you think that those living in core urban areas will respond with grace and patience? Of course not. Of course not. They're not going to respond with grace and patience. They're going to respond with violence. Okay. We just read the scripture, how it talks about how savage times are coming because people are all about themselves. Okay, so they're gonna resort to violence and doing evil to one another in order to sustain themselves. Okay, Second Timothy chapter 3 verse 2, it says, "For men shall 3 verse 2, it says, for many men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection." So they don't have affection for their fellow man, okay, their fellow neighbor. So they're going to resort to violence. Truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce despisers of those that are good. Traitors, heady, high minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High. So doing what they want to do. Selfish, greedy, evil demons. Okay? All right? That's what we're dealing with in these times. They're not going to respond with grace and patience. All right? They're going to respond with violence. Okay? All right? This is Second Ezra chapter 6. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm sorry. I got to get Jeremiah 15:16. It says, "Cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in the time of harvest." Okay. All right. NLT, "Take from Babylon all those who plant crops, send all the harvesters away. Because of the sword of the enemy, everyone will run away and push and rush back to their own lands. Okay, in the King James, again, it says, cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handleth the sickle in a time of harvest, for the fear of the oppressing sword. They shall turn every one to his own people, and they shall flee every one to his own land. Okay, so no more farmers farming. Okay, those that sow in the fields, they're going to be cut off because of the violence that is coming. Okay, all right, from the powers that be. Okay, and there are reports that these farmers are being approached to destroy their crops and to destroy their cattle and their livestock, man. Okay, and the situation here in America is going to get so bad that people are not going to want to come here anymore. Okay, America's not going to be viewed as a land of opportunity. Let's come here and make money and live it up. No, people are going to go back to their own countries. Okay, all right, that's what's coming. That is what's coming. Okay, all right. People are gonna be scared of this place. This place is gonna start looking like these core urban areas this man is talking about that was the envy of the planet Earth are going to start looking like war zones. Okay, something off of the I Am Legend movies. Okay, movie that's what it's gonna look like. Okay, but anyway, Second Ezra chapter 6 verse 22. All right, it says in verse 22 it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Why? Because cut off the sower from Babylon, right? So if the sower is cut off, that means no more um, food being shipped to the grocery stores. The full storehouses shall be found suddenly empty. Okay, no more food going to the grocery stores, no more produce. Okay, all right, the farming lands, they're going to be emptied out in a lot of places. Okay, and taken over by the government. Okay, all right, to ration out to who they please. All right, to those who have the MOTB, the digital identifier. Okay, the subdermal implant. All right, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Okay, so again, people who were once friendly and cool fighting each other to the death. Okay, the earth and the people that dwell in it, all right, especially here in Babylon the Great, they're going to be afraid for their life. Okay, all right, depression. Okay, all right, lack of water. The springs of the fountain shall stand still. So water shortages. So people don't grow nuts. Okay, they are going to go bananas. All right, let's go down. Second Ezra chapter 15. Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 5. Okay, it says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So the Lord is bringing plagues upon the world, okay, especially Babylon the Great, America, okay, because this place is the most wicked place on earth, all right, pushing out all types of philosophies and doctrines and ways of life contrary to the Bible, to the ways of the Most High God, Yahweh, all right, and his son, Yahweh Shai, okay, all right, so, hey, all right, let's keep reading. The scripture's going to say it better than I can, all right. Jumping down to verse 14, it says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition, let's define the word sedition, among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. What does the word sedition mean? Conduct, which means actions, or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. Rebellion, riots. Okay. All right. So what we saw in 2020, that is nothing. Okay. What we're seeing now, okay, with these different protests and riots, all right, that's nothing compared to what is coming. People are going to get so violent that they're going to go up against their own government, their own elected officials, man. All right, these elected officials are going to be scared for their life. Okay, which this article went into it, man. Okay, the attempt, all right, the alleged attempt on, I believe, excuse me, um, a dignity's life in this. Wow. Okay, an armed would-be assassin's alleged attempt on the life of Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Okay, last week as part of a wave of violence, arson, vandalism, and intimidation targeting pro-life groups and government officials. So yeah, that's gonna get worse. Okay, that's gonna get worse. All right, when there ain't no food, forget about it. All right, when ain't no jobs, forget about it. Okay, all right, when ain't no water, forget about it. All right, more blackouts, people won't got no electricity, forget about it. Okay, forget about it. All right, they're gonna go up against their elected officials, their congressmen, mayors, governors, however. Okay, they're gonna do whatever it is they want to do. You can institute a curfew. All right, you could put fines out there for people who riding. They ain't gonna give no damn. Okay, verse 17 it says, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." Why? Because they're gonna lock these cities down. Okay, traveling is already going on a decline because there's a pilot shortage. Okay, people ain't got the money for it. All right, gas, money prices going up. All right, so that's already happening on a level. Okay, but it's gonna get worse because they're gonna shut these cities in. All right, say you can't go here, can't go there, and eventually the authorities will use military force and personnel to do it. They will. Okay, they will use violence to corral the people. Yes, they will. Okay. Verse 18 it says, "For because of their pride, right? For because of their pride, right? You see, the cities were the envy of the world, mm, the envy of the entire planet. Oh, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." Okay, all right, these houses gonna be burnt down. Okay, the cities are gonna look terrible, 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 vandalizing everywhere, burnt cars, burning buildings. Okay, all right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. People breaking in and entering, man, into each other's houses, man, into their neighbors' houses, and spoil their goods, take what they got because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. Because there's no food out there like that, man. Because they ain't got medicine, because they ain't got water, because they ain't got baby supplies, because they ain't got clothes, because they ain't got this or that. They will break into each other's houses, man. Okay? And whoever they find, they gunning them down. Okay? All right? The elderly, the sickly, the women and the children are going to be the major top victims in these times, man, of what's coming. All right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra 16 and 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings." They're going to be sad. They're going to be sad. Okay? With all the violence at their world going up in flames, the beginning of famine, hunger, and great death. Okay? The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. Okay? So these famines that are coming, like this man spoke about, all right, these food shortages, lack of supplies, is going to lead these countries to go to war for whatever resources they got left. Okay? The beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, and what shall I do? What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish. Famine, plague, tribulation, and anguish, man. You don't have people out here sick of different diseases too. These cities shutting down, man. Hospitals are gonna be overrun with bodies, just injured from one thing or another. From the violence out there in the streets. Okay, all right, to people sick. All right, to women pregnant, to anything, the elderly, whatever. Okay, famine, plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. These are scourges for amendment. Okay, correction. Revision. Okay, another word for amendment is correction. Okay, a minor change or addition designed to improve a text piece of legislation. All right. So basically, this is a correction from the Most High to improve the morals of the planet Earth. But that's not going to do anything. They're only going to get worse in their wickedness. Okay. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges. So, which means they're going to get worse. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and there are already, purportedly 8 billion people on earth. So how do you get many people of 8 billion dying of famine? What does that mean? Many of 8 billion, so to speak, supposedly, right? 8 billion is already a lot. That's already many. So many of many gonna die of famine. They gonna die because they ain't got no food or water. They gonna starve to death. Okay. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. All right. So they're gonna die in these different wars or these different conflicts, whether it be internally within the borders of this country or externally abroad. And the dead shall be cast out as dung. Dead bodies everywhere, man. Okay, vultures eating up the dead bodies. And guess what? Cannibalism is coming back. Okay, the Bible talks about cannibalism, man. Okay, people gonna eat their own children. You can look it up. Okay, people gonna eat their own children. Okay, all right, people gonna eat each other. Matter of fact, forget about it. Jeremiah 19:9, it says, "And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters. And they shall eat everyone the flesh of his friend in the siege and straightness wherewith their enemies, and they that seek their lives shall straighten them." People gonna be eating their own children, okay? Eating their own friend and their neighbors, man, because ain't no food. The city's locked down. The stores closed down, okay? Yeah, okay? Going back to verse 23 in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, "And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down." Cast down. Okay? No more, oh, I want to take a trip to Los Angeles or to Atlanta or to New York, Broadway, and Chicago, and Cincinnati, and Dallas, and Miami, and Orlando, and, you know, let's go see, Seattle, the Space Needle. Forget about that. Okay? The cities are going to be a horror movie, man. It's going to start looking like a third world country, a war zone, a ghost town. Okay? All right? Verse 24 says, "There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. The trees shall give fruit, and who shall gather them?" All right, so the city is going to be unkept, and nature is going to take over. The grapes shall ripe, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men, so that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field, which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. Okay, mass depopulation, man. Population reduction of these cities. Okay, by the millions, maybe even billions. As in an orchard of olives upon every tree, that there are left 3 or 4 olives, or when as a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. Okay, so it's going to be very few people left in these cities and towns. Okay, in most cases. And if somebody runs into you, they looking to kill you. They're gonna be searching through your house with a sword. Okay? And the earth shall be laid waste, and the field shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therethrough. The virgins, which is the women, shall mourn. Young women shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. I'm an independent woman. The woman shall mourn, having no husbands. I don't need no man. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helper. You know, these men ain't nothing. I can do it by myself. Ain't gonna be no men out there. Why? Because in the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish. Their husbands shall perish of famine. So these women are gonna be out here defenseless. Okay? And they're gonna be trafficked around. Okay, that's happening. All right, and it's gonna happen some more. Okay, all right. That's why the book of Isaiah chapter 4 talks about how 7 women shall take hold of one man, and that's talking about the Israelite women cleaving to a complete number of Israelite women cleaving to a man of the Lord. Okay, all right. In those times, man. All right, in the book of Isaiah chapter 4 verse 1. So it's gonna get that bad. Okay. So that's what I got so far. You know, um, hey, I want to read a little bit rest of this. Jumping down to verse 37, it says, "Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son. Within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment." Okay, that's how the Most High is describing the plagues, the tribulation, the anguish, the suffering. Okay, that is coming to the planet Earth and to America. Okay, all right, pains of a woman in travail, likened unto that. All right, once the water breaks and the pain contractions start, they get closer and closer and closer until the baby come out. Okay, that's where we at. We already in a shit hit the fan scenario right now. It's only gonna get worse and worse and worse. Okay. Verse 39, it says, "Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth." So they ain't wasting no time. All right, because Yahweh Shai getting ready to come back. This is leading up to the return of our Messiah, the Lord of Lords and King of Kings, and he's coming to take his proper and rightful rulership of the planet Earth. Okay? All right. "Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side." Period. So that's that is our answer via Bible prophecy, man. Okay, what will the streets be like of America when things really start hitting the fan? Lord willing, this video was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect. Shalom.